sometimes think about forgiveness from a perspective of an energy system. And if you think about yourself as a closed energy system and you've only got so much energy that you can use to apply to different things, if I have a grievance or a resentment with someone or a wound that I am holding on to, or am I feeling with someone and I haven't forgiven, that wound or resentment or grievance is taking up energy and it's limiting what I can do in other areas of my life. And if I go through a process of forgiveness from an energy perspective, it's I'm choosing to take the energy away from whatever that particular thing is so that it's available to me to use in other areas of my life.
I go into forgiveness as a way to acknowledge the pain, hope, especially if there's been a regret and remorse, amends, to acknowledge that happened, the person regrets it. And so now I'm working towards letting that be, but it's not an acceptance or an agreement with what happened. And so not that it takes up energy, but I still might forgive someone, but still have my boundaries in place about how I choose to interact or not interact. And so when you say that, Tim, I'm like, with my version of it, would you say that takes up my energy? And in my world, I would say that doesn't take energy. It's just I'm going to hold some distance there and continue on my way.
I don't see.
So I don't know if my way and your way, would you say that matches what you're saying?
I think that they can fit. I mean, I will also say, in my humble opinion, one of the stupidest phrases that we have ever come up with is forgive and forget.
Yeah.
Because, if somebody has harmed you, or if you are feeling that impact of somebody, forgiving them doesn't mean, I'm going to forget that happened, because then you're setting yourself up to let it happen again. I really like forgive and remember. And so when I think about that, it's a very different, again, if I'm just going with an energy model, I don't always go with an energy model, but I am today. But if I'm going from an energy model, the energy that's associated with what I'm holding on to as far as the wound is a very different experience than the kind of energy of just sort of acknowledging an ongoing boundary or an awareness of a potential impact.
Well, I think this is part of the challenge and the problem is that, let's say somebody harms me and I am upset, I'm hurt, I'm angry, and I say, okay, but I just want to let it go. And I want to forgive them, and I want to be close to them again. So I might have that intention, or I might have that desire, but we all know that with trauma lives in a very different part of the brain. And so on the one side, I might have the intent to do this, but as soon as there's any kind of trigger or any kind of remembrance of the harm, of the hurt, and my brain goes, oh, here we are again, I most likely am going to act and react in a way that does not show that I've forgiven that person, even though I would have liked to. So I think this is the huge piece I think that a lot of partners experience and struggle with, is how we're kind of back to the beginning. Is like, if someone wants to forgive, or is thinking about forgiving, or is pondering forgiveness, how does that work if trauma is still really active?
Well, can I just say, I don't think it's I think we get stuck that it's a one-time big ceremony. I've forgiven you. We've done it. And now it's like this. With trauma, we don't move on, we move through. There's always going to be something there. We're going to have reminders. If I have an injury, I may heal, but I may still have reminders based from that injury. So same thing. But I guess that's where I always put an S at the end of forgive. Forgiveness becomes I forgive multiple times. I forgive to the extent that I'm able to forgive right now. So for many partners, I mean, the addicts will kind of be like, they want more. But the partner's like, I'm still here. So I think sometimes early on, forgiveness says, I reserve the right to leave, but I'm still choosing to stick this out for now until I see more from you. I think some forgiveness is an openness to say, maybe there's something here worth saving. I don't know yet. I mean, I think that could be one level of forgiveness to start. And then it moves maybe to a new kind of acceptance of self and the relationship as the as the person really does good recovery on the other side, I think.